Hello everyone and welcome back to the Bantamweight Boxing YouTube channel with me, your host, Michael Waite. Just thought I would make another quick video. All the boxing ideas were springing in my mind this evening about, about different videos to make. So I've put the camera back on and I wanted to talk a little bit about AJ. I was speaking about Tyson Fury in my last video, so you know the two go hand in hand. So as you can probably see from the title of this video, I'm talking about why I think AJ should take an interim fight or a fight in the summer before his showdown with Wilder in December. Now I know what you're going to say. You're going to say to me, the fight's not agreed with Wilder in December. You know, you're making a big stretch here, or making a big leap here. In my mind, AJ versus Wilder is signed, sealed, and delivered. All right. As a boxing fan in this heavyweight era, right, I need Wilder AJ, okay? I haven't got a lot to go off, all right? There's not banging heavyweight fights happening every weekend. So when I got sniff that this fight could potentially be made or is nearly made, in my mind, it's done, all right? It's agreed. And yeah, I won't hear anything else. So given that Wilder and AJ is happening in December, I thought I'd make a video about what I think AJ should do in the build-up. Now, a lot of this video kind of depends. You know, a lot of this video is made on assumptions, right? You've got to assume what AJ's mindset is at the moment. Now, I'm assuming that AJ is of the mindset that he wants to become a three-time world champion. That's what I'm assuming as a. I know I'm assuming a lot, right? I'm assuming a lot in this video, but to make my argument, I need to assume the premise that AJ does want to become a three-time world champion. So that being the case, let's look at his last fight versus Franklin. Now, I think the backlash he got from that fight was pretty harsh, but that's boxing for you. You know, you just, whatever you do, you're going to get hated on. But I do think it was quite harsh. If you dissect the performance, anyone who's watched a bit of boxing will know that Franklin is no pushover, right? He's a decent fighter, and you know, he came to win, all right. And looking at the performance, AJ won pretty much 12 of the 12 rounds. Never really got in trouble. Never looked gassed at any point, never really showed massive signs of weaknesses. His main criticism for the fight is what he didn't do, which was knock Franklin out. But, you know, that doesn't mean it was a terrible performance, and I don't think it was. But the reason why I do agree a little bit with the criticism is when I look at that performance, I don't think that is a man who is going to go on and beat Wilder. And I think a lot of people would agree with me in saying that that AJ that rocked up against Franklin gets knocked spark out by the bronze bomber, all right? So that is my argument for why I think he needs a tune-up fight. Not a tune-up fight, he needs a fight to get that confidence back up and kind of rip that, or, you know, ignite that kind of dog in him again. That confidence, that demeanor, that knockout. It's not that the power's gone away, but it's the confidence, isn't it? It's the willingness to sit down on the punches. Now, if we look at prime AJ, or what people regard as the best AJ, is probably, you know, around, you know, the time of when he was going in against Ruiz and that kind of style of AJ, where before he obviously got knocked out, but a bit of a bulldozer, sitting down on the punches, bullying the opponents in the ring, and just carrying that all-round Mike Tyson-esque demeanor, which has obviously kind of disappeared now. And I think he needs a dancing partner in a fight before Wilder to kind of ignite that again. And not only have I come up with this master plan, I know the fighter AJ needs, right? So AJ, if you are listening, right, just do what I say, right? And it will be 3 times, right? It'll be 3-time world champion. And the opponent is none other than Dillian Whyte. That's who he needs to fight. He needs to rematch with Dillian Whyte in July kind of time, or maybe a bit later, because I just think it's the perfect fight. Not only as a boxing fan is it super entertaining and it would just be a cracking rematch, but there's advantages of it. You know, Dillian White is going to come to fight, right? He's going to come and he's going to be game, but at the same time, he's not the same fighter that he was before. So he carries a threat. You know, he's still always going to have that left hook. He's still got a strong mentality, etc. But he's a jaded fighter now. You know, he's past his prime. He's real evidence of what boxing can do to you in a short space of time, of what those wars can do to you. You know, those fights with Chisora, Fury, Parker. When I say fights, these were wars, you know. This is when you take a lot of damage. And it's definitely caught up with White. He almost kind of aged overnight, really. You know, saw him in that Tyson Fury fight and he just didn't look like he belonged. So I think although White is still going to be a competitive opponent, I think he's an opponent that AJ should comfortably get through. But he will bring it to AJ. And he will, get under AJ's skin in the build-up and in the ring. He will fight dirty, and I think he'll kind of rile AJ up. And I think AJ needs an opponent like that. He needs someone who's going to pose a level of threat. No disrespect to Franklin, but he never hurt AJ at any point. And AJ's only going to resort back to his old style by tasting a bit of that, a bit of trouble in the ring and saying, I need to overcome this. I draw, but overcome this against an opponent he can. So, he tasted a bit of pain in the Usyk fight, but I think he knew that he was just outclassed there and he wouldn't be able to, even if he turned on the engines, I don't think he would have been able to get Usyk out there. I think that was about levels, unfortunately, for him. But against someone like a Dillian White, that's someone who's going to come to knock you out. And I think AJ, it's not someone who's, and AJ will rise to that. And I think AJ would knock Dillian White out. And I think that would be the perfect way for him to go into the Wilder fight. Now, obviously, I understand. So that's what I would say. I'd say if I was with AJ and he was telling me I want to win another world title, I'd be saying you need a confidence boost before you get in there with Wilder. Let's get you in with White and let's get a knockout and move on to that Wilder fight, because that is the only way he's beaten Wilder. There's no way AJ is avoiding Wilder's right hand for 12 rounds. He needs to go in there and he needs to take Wilder out early and steamroll him. He's not going to, the way he's fought against Franklin, you're not going to be able to do that with Wilder, because if Tyson Fury can't avoid Wilder's right hand for 12 rounds, there's no way that AJ can, and Fury is given us the blueprint. He said you've got to back Wilder up. You've got to bully him in there. He's a smaller heavyweight. He's a lighter heavyweight. You've got to bully him in there, and fight him on the back foot and make him scared to throw. So AJ needs a knockout. He needs to be in that knockout mentality to go into that Wilder fight, and I think White would do that for him. Obviously, I will consider the other side. Now, I've said all of that under the impression that AJ wants to stay in boxing and wants to, as a legacy standpoint. But there's also a good chance that AJ is staying in boxing purely for financial reasons. And if I was AJ's promoter or trainer, it will happen one day, AJ. It will happen one day. If I was his promoter and he was saying to me, look, I've achieved what I wanted in boxing. I've become a 2-weight world champion. I've fought some of the best fighters of my time. I'm moving out of my prime now, and I want to make as much money as possible with the least, while sustaining the least amount of damage. If that's what he was saying to me and that's where his mindset is, I would say, no way are we fighting in July, all right? We're not fighting in the summer. I'm going to do everything I can to secure this Wilder fight, because if AJ loses, well, I think the Saudis have said if AJ loses the fight wouldn't happen with Wilder anyway. But also that kind of excitement would just be drained again from the fight, from the AJ Wilder fight. So I'd be saying, all right, sit tight, rest up. We'll take the Wilder fight. We'll do the best we can, and we'll secure the biggest payday of our lives, and somehow, put on a good enough performance that we could try and get a trilogy there, and leave the sport after that, or something like that. So it depends on where AJ's mindset is at. I'm hoping, and from what I've seen, he's made plenty of money. Like, if that was purely his mindset, I think he would have left the sport a while ago. So we'll see. But let me know what you think AJ should do. And would you be interested in the Dillian White fight? If you're not, I wouldn't understand why, because I just think that's a great fight. But yeah, thanks for listening to me ramble on. I hope you liked it. If you did, drop a like, subscribe, comment. Yeah, we're on route to 100 subscribers. Woo woo. See you later. Bye bye.